Hello friends and family and colleagues. Why do I sound like Boris Johnson? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are on a ticking time bomb. We have 38 minutes until my son wakes up from his nap. Hopefully anyway. Well, he's actually not going to wake up. I'm going to go in and wake him up in 38 minutes. So I thought that I would finally have the time to sit down and record this second trimester little Q&A that I've been asking over on my Instagram for questions for. But first, I talk about my obsession with Sprite in this video. There is just nothing that gets me going like that at the moment. And look how cute this little cup is. My mum got this for me for my birthday. Got a little kiwi. Is that a kiwi? Is that a kiwi? I think that is a kiwi. There's just something about that. I don't know whether it's the fact that Sprite is lemon and lime, because I prefer Sprite over anything. Like, I'd pick this over like normal lemonade, if you know what I mean. And she jumps about like a little thumper rabbit in there when I've been drinking this, because she loves it as much as I do, which is why I'm assuming she's making me drink it. Anyway, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I thought, seeing as I did a first trimester Q&A a little while back in February, I think, maybe February, beginning of March now, I am going to do a second trimester sort of roundup, and I'm also going to try and do a third one as well. So as of today, I have no idea how many weeks I actually am. So as of today, I am 26 weeks and 5 days pregnant. So I'm pretty sure, does that mean in like 2 days time on Saturday, I'm going to be in the third trimester, or is that 28 weeks? Because I was really confused with this whole thing when I was pregnant with Alfie, because some people would say that I was in my third trimester at 27 weeks. Some people said that I was in it at 28 weeks. I guess it doesn't really matter because it's literally a week apart, but I was always under the impression that it was 27 weeks, so I don't know, someone let me know. Anyway, seeing as regardless of when I am actually in my third trimester, my second trimester is coming to a close, so I thought that I would do my little roundup, and I will probably do my third trimester one closer to the time that I'm going to give birth in August. So if you didn't already know, I'm due on the 3rd of August with a baby girl, which is my second baby. I already have a first lovely little boy called Alfie, who is 2, going to be 2.5 by the time that this little cherub is born. How much caffeine does this have? Energy. Does this have caffeine in it? I think it does have caffeine in it, but honestly I could destroy like 6 a day, so I need to be cautious. I need to probably search that up actually. Also, I think this is probably the worst I've looked all week. I've literally done my tan fresh this morning and put some loose pyjamas on, and then I actually put some new pyjamas that I bought from Primark yesterday on, and I spilled oil all down them, so they are now going to be soaking in the wash because I really want to wear them tonight actually. I'm going to have to wear a different pair. Anyway, I've just been in my pyjamas all day because this is the one day of the week that I don't actually have anything to do, which is why I thought that I would sit down and film, because otherwise I'm not going to get this filmed and edited for ages, and I'm already slacking on YouTube so much, so I really need to pick up the pace. But anyway, after the longest intro ever, and we have 33 minutes left on the timer, let's get into some of the questions and answers. This first one actually made me howl. It made me laugh. Please, no offense to the person that asked this, but I just found this question so funny. Does being pregnant hurt? Does being pregnant hurt? So in general, I would say being pregnant does hurt. It does and it doesn't. You'll know what I mean if you've been pregnant or you are pregnant. It's not the actual pregnancy that necessarily hurts, it's the things that it does to you that hurts. So I suppose the fairest way I can answer this is actually being pregnant can hurt, because she actually hurts my whole bump and makes me so sore, and my back, and that's because she is heavy. So in that sense, yes, being pregnant does hurt, but all the other repercussions as well as that, like obviously when you're in the first trimester and you know you're being sick and the exhaustion. I mean, to be honest, I'm still pretty exhausted in my second trimester, nothing compared to my first, but I'm still pretty tired, way more tired than I think I was when I was pregnant with Alfie in the second trimester. So I would say being pregnant does hurt, but you're not in like excruciating pain all the time or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure some women are. Some people have like severe back pain. I've had a fair bit of back pain, which has kind of stopped now. I think it was at its worst at around like 18 weeks. So whether that returns in the third trimester, and I've also heard of so many people saying that like their sickness returned in the third trimester. That was something I was absolutely terrified of in my first pregnancy, and I didn't get it, thank God. I missed that whole part. But that absolutely terrifies me. Ooh, there's a hideous spider just outside my window. I liked this question. Worst symptoms and happiest moment. I already need a Sprite break. So the 3 worst symptoms that I've had that I would say in my second trimester would be insomnia, bump pain, and breathlessness. They are the... Oh, Alfie's woken up. We've not slept for long enough at all, have you? Do you want to lay down on mummy? No. No? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? You miserable? You grumps? No. You're okay. I'm tired. Oh no. It's there for you. Right, this is not how this video was supposed to go, so I don't know how he's gonna feel about me sitting here and just constantly talking to you guys. I'll see if I can try and sort of make this quick. Anyway, as I was saying, I definitely would say the bump pain is something that I didn't experience with Alfie's pregnancy until much later on. With her in the second trimester, it's been horrendous, literally horrendous. She just feels bigger, she feels heavier, she fills up more of me. So insomnia is insane in this pregnancy. I remember having it with Alfie, but again, it wasn't until much later. It's kind of like everything I'm having in this pregnancy is a trimester earlier than what I had with Alfie's pregnancy. I don't know why, it just feels so different. Every single night at the moment, I'm up in the night multiple times, not being able to go back to sleep. There was a storm last night. I was just laid awake listening to it for ages and ages. I'm constantly going back and forth to the toilet, which again is keeping me up. Like in the end, I can fall asleep at night after like 2 hours of trying to get to sleep. Then I can't stay asleep, and that's my problem, because I don't mind, obviously it's not ideal, like trying to get to sleep after 2 hours, but I don't mind that so much if I then stayed asleep, but I don't. I just end up waking up a million times. So it's a little bit of a nightmare, the insomnia, but I do feel like it's probably just my body trying to get me ready for the newborn stage, which I'm not prepared for at all, because, not gonna lie, I can't stand the newborn stage. It will probably be very different with her, but obviously the no sleep, I'm just not somebody who gets on with no sleep well, so I know that's really going to affect me. And then lastly, the breathlessness. I do not remember being this out of breath with Alfie. I feel like I'm constantly having to catch my breath. I woke up the other day, last week, with the most severe chest pain. I was literally written off the entire day. I don't know if it was that I was starting to come down with something. I'm not sure if it was that I was starting to come down with something and then my body just like ended up getting rid of it. He's throwing his water bottle. But yeah, that did kind of have me a little bit worried on that day, because it's a symptom of like preeclampsia and stuff like that, which I know I definitely don't have. But obviously with your second and multiple children, you don't have your 24-week check. Well, at least I don't with my midwife. So because my last check was at 16 weeks and my next one will be at 28 weeks, obviously there's a lot of time there for preeclampsia to develop, which was something that was making me really panicked when I felt like that. But I don't know what it was, because straight after that she was then starting to kick in my ribs. So I think it might have been that she had just like had a growth spurt overnight and my body was like, whoa, and then like her like squashing my lungs needed to give me like a day to adjust. But even now, like, I'm just so out of breath all the time. And then the other part of that question was my happiest moment, and that would definitely be watching Alfie bond with the bump. He knows that there is a baby in there. He knows that his sister is in there. He constantly cuddles my bump, wants to read to my bump, wants to talk to my bump. He is obsessed with the idea of having a baby in there. He says good night, he says good morning. It is the sweetest thing. Sorry, I'm just still a burper. I'm always going to be a burper. I'm not even going to edit it out, because do you know what? It's a natural bodily function. We all do it. We all do it. We all burp, we all fart, we all throw up, we all have diarrhea every now and then. That's life. So not that I would keep me having like diarrhea in a clip, but a burp, I mean, it's harmless, but come on. It is the loveliest thing watching him bond, and I just know that he's going to have the best bond with her ever. He already has a sister on his dad's side, and he has such an amazing bond with her. He never ever stops going on about her. He is obsessed with her. Love your sister, don't you? Yeah, you love your sister. I just know that because of that, he's going to have a really, really lovely bond with her as well. So I would definitely say it's not a happiest moment, but it's a happiest moment that has happened and a happiest ongoing moment. How is being pregnant in the second trimester this time different to the first time? So I've kind of already brushed over this slightly, but what I've written down here is mentally I'm more stable and I have a better support system than I did the first time. We've just taken about an hour and a half break, guys. Alfie had an absolute tantrum breakdown because he was so overtired. Didn't know what to do with him, didn't know how to calm down. Been sat on the sofa watching TikToks. Then I got an email from my landlord and they basically said that we have, in our last flat inspection, we have black mould in the property, and they basically aimed it like it was us that wasn't controlling the problem. And I was like, and I responded and basically said, I'm really sorry. Well, I didn't even say I'm sorry actually, because I have nothing to be sorry for. But I basically responded and I was just like, look, I think my memory card's about to run out. Sorry, I just had to change my memory card because I was literally about to run out of storage on there. Alfie, don't get up there, you're in a nappy, darling. You're in a nappy. But yeah, as I was saying, I basically responded and I said like this should have been controlled before we moved in. You're in a nappy, darling. Yeah, I just said that I wasn't happy. And then they responded basically saying, oh no. They responded basically saying, oh, like I wasn't like, we weren't like aiming it at you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that's basically what you said. So it's kind of just put me in a bit of a mood, but I'm going to try and pick up where we left off. This video has been just such a disaster. Such a disaster. I feel like I'm chasing my tail with it. Please don't do that, baby. Anyway, I'm pretty sure what I was saying was mentally I'm more stable. I had a really good support system with my mum and my family last time, but I think obviously just like being with the father and just having that relationship with Charlie the way that I didn't with Alfie's dad has just made such a difference in this pregnancy. I would also say that this time round, the second trimester has definitely been harder with having a toddler around. I just feel like I'm constantly running around chasing my tail with everything. I'm just constantly on the go, and that is a lot harder than you'd think it would be. I'm such an active person and I'm not a very lazy person. I am a very productive person. I like to get things done. I'm a worker, and I feel like I definitely underestimated how hard it was going to be with a toddler this time. The only thing that I would say that is easier is the working from home. So when I was pregnant with Alfie during the second trimester, during only the second and third trimester, I was working at Costa, so I was working pretty long shifts on my feet all day, and this time I am a full-time content creator thanks to you guys. So because of that, I definitely have it easier this time around in terms of my work and just being a little bit more relaxed and not being so on the go, which I know I'm so fortunate to be able to say that I do, because so many people do not get that opportunity. Any new cravings during your second trimester? What do you think I'm gonna say? Sprite. Well, I mean, to be fair, just lemonade in general. If I was at a pub, if I was going through McDonald's, if I was opting for any drink anywhere, it will always be a Sprite or a lemonade at the moment, which is wild because that would be my last choice on this planet if I wasn't pregnant. I don't know what it is about it. It's just something about the like sweet lemony lime taste. Oh, love it. I think it definitely started in my first trimester because I did have like really sweet cravings in my first trimester, and I mean just like constant sour sweets, fizzy rainbow belts, like anything like that. I was obsessed with it. And to keep the nausea at bay, I did also used to go through McDonald's quite a lot and pick up like a medium Sprite and just sip on it. So I think maybe my taste buds have adjusted to it that way. But then I had a huge gap between the first trimester and up until about 2 weeks ago. I think it was on my birthday? Yeah, on my birthday, which was coming up to 2 weeks ago now. I just randomly, we were at the park and I just had this massive craving for lemonade, and I was like, we need to go. So we went to a local pub and got a lemonade, and then ever since then I've just been obsessed with it. Like, it's just on my mind 24/7. If I ever want a refreshment, it's always a lemonade. Yeah, I'd definitely say Sprite is the main one in the second trimester. I would also still say that it would be majority sweet things that I crave, but I haven't been like obsessed, I don't think, with any foods. I'd say that was more in the first trimester for me. The only thing that keeps happening to me is, for example, me and Charlie would be sat like together in the evening, and I'll randomly get like a taste in my mouth and I'm like, oh my god, what is that? I really, really want that, but I cannot put my finger on what it is. So it's like my body is craving it, but my brain doesn't know what it is. And I'm literally sat with Charlie like, I don't know what it is I want, but I want it so bad. And it is the most bizarre, weird thing that's ever happened, because I cannot remember that ever happening before I was pregnant. Yeah, let me know if you've had that, because I don't think I had that with Alfie, but really, really, really bizarre. And the last question that I'm going to answer is, how do you feel your body has changed this time compared to the last? This question is quite a deep one. If you didn't already know, I did used to suffer with an ED. I'm not going to say the full word, just because I don't want to be demonetized. I don't know if that's something that I could be demonetized for, but I've heard other people say it, so I'm not going to say the full word. But an ED, if you don't know what it is, just search it into Google and it will tell you what it is. So I did used to suffer with quite a bad ED before I fell pregnant with Alfie, and to be honest, the first few weeks of even being pregnant with Alfie, I found it really, really difficult. But pregnancy was actually one of the things that genuinely saved my life and changed my whole perspective with how I feel about eating and fueling my body. So I'm so, so grateful for that, because if I didn't have my son, my life would probably look very, very different. I would say I was weeks away from being hospitalised due to it. Obviously, that is very, very difficult for somebody whose brain is very dysphoric around their body and their weight, and I still do struggle with that to this day. So being pregnant is something that definitely affects that. What I will say is, with Alfie's pregnancy, I was mainly just bump. I had no other fat really anywhere on my body. I think my legs got a tiny little bit bigger, but I was much skinnier to begin with in Alfie's pregnancy. And with this pregnancy, I was a pretty normal weight before I fell pregnant with baby girl anyway. So I think, being that with an added factor, I am much, 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 much bigger than I was in Alfie's pregnancy. And I don't mean bump wise, I mean body fat wise. I have noticed it in my face, I've noticed it in my neck, my hands, my legs in particular. I used to struggle to even get my legs together, and that's not actually an unhealthy thing. That is literally just how my body is. My body has always been that my legs are like stick thin and my stomach is usually bigger, whereas I know some people have like a really, really slim waist and then like thicker legs. It just depends on your body and your body dynamic and where your body holds the fat. For me, my legs are nowhere near as thin as they used to be, so I've definitely put on weight around there. I've put on so much weight on my hips, like I said, my face, just all over me, and I feel like that was what needed to happen for me to have a healthy and successful pregnancy. And I'm not going to beat myself up for that, not that you should in real life anyway, but I definitely have been doing less exercise in this pregnancy as well, which is probably another factor. I'm just kind of at the point where I'm accepting the fact that yes, my body has changed, but your body changing doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing. And I feel like as humans, we kind of put those two together. We put your body changing as a negative thing. Obviously in some cases it can be if you are like severely overweight, where it's like dangerous to your health, or if you're severely underweight where it's dangerous to your health. As I've said, I've definitely been on that underweight side of the spectrum before. Obviously there are things to look out for in that sense, but you know, your body just changing to harbour a baby, or even if you're not harbouring a baby, your body changing in general is so normal. And especially as women, our weight fluctuates so much, and mine in particular, my weight has always fluctuated up and down. I can go from one extreme to another very, very quickly, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like I am still very dysphoric, and it's even to the point that I like look at me with when I was like 6 weeks pregnant, and I thought that I was massive, and I don't mean bump. I think I thought that I was like, I'd put on so much weight, and then I look at myself then and I look at myself now and I'm like, oh my god, you were so skinny, like girl, you were so tiny. But then, you know, I'm probably gonna get to 40 weeks and look at myself now and think, damn, like you were so small. So my brain is very dysphoric, and something that I think I'm genuinely going to struggle with my entire life, and it's just something that I need to constantly remind myself is so normal, and body weight and fluctuation is so normal. But I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't struggle with it, because it's something that I very much do. And obviously with this pregnancy as well being very different to how I carried Alfie, there has been some struggles along the way with how I felt about myself and how I felt about my body. But as I said, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get myself in a constant state of acceptance and just understanding the reasons why my body has changed so much, and it's for good reason. Anyway, that was the most chaotic Q&A I think I've ever filmed in my life. I'm so behind on housework. I feel like I just have so much to do. I really do have so much to do. However, needs must. Some things come first, that is life. But I think that is going to go ahead and wrap up this second trimester Q&A. Thank you to everybody who sent questions in over on my Instagram. If you don't already, make sure to go and follow my Instagram and my TikTok. In particular my Instagram, if you want to get involved with videos like this. That is where I put all of my question boxes up and where I can get you guys a little bit more involved in my content, which I absolutely love doing. I hope you all enjoyed this Q&A, and I will see you in a few months' time for my third trimester one, which I'm sure will fly around, because I honestly could not believe how long ago it was that I filmed that first trimester one, and how that feels like 2 seconds ago I was sat like literally in this position filming that video. So I'm sure it's gonna fly around the corner. Thank you so much for watching, all of your ongoing support. I love you all to the moon and back. Please like this video if you enjoyed this content, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me, and leave a comment down below if you wish to do so. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye!